What is up, guys? This is John, aka Pokemon, and today I am joined with Kooper to do the second weekly recap.
Hey, I go, guys.
Yes, Kooper is here, not Steve. Steve is doing Steve things, so we got the next best thing, Kooper. Possibly even better, because Kooper is the best. He is the man behind the scenes when it comes to actually doing the stats on the recap videos, so big thanks to you, Kooper. I am just ridiculously bad with Photoshop things. I don't have Photoshop, but that's okay.
I just really like menial tasks.
Yeah, I have heard that. I didn't really... when Nick said that, I didn't really know how to respond. Beyonce, I appreciate that. I appreciate your love for doing things I don't want to do.
Indeed.
But Kooper also loves stats. He loves the GBA, and I think we'll be able to do a pretty good recap. So, we also are sorry this is going up really late, but still, I hope you guys enjoy this. But this week, we're going to start off with actually the biggest battle of the week. Two undefeated teams.
This is my top two teams right here.
Ooh, even better. So, Kooper, I want to hear a lot of input in this battle. We got the Anaheim Mighty Ducklets against the Remorail. Adam, Andy, Arthur against Miguel, the grappling champion. And Miguel comes away with a 2-0 victory.
I believe all of the Mighty Ducklets...
Actually, 3-0. My bad. I was looking at his record. Look at me go.
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit confusing. I believe all the Mighty Ducklets nicknames, all names that start with A. Fitting for the coach.
A little inside joke, if you guys did not know, Miguel actually did not know what Adam's name was, called him Andy, and we decided that Adam was now any A name. So, when referring to him, yeah, just look up an A name and call him. The weirder it is, the better. We don't want to recycle names. I recycle names. I've gone through too many. So that's just Adrian. You know, that's how it's gonna go. But big thing in this battle. Adam was able to... I said Adam. Look at me. You know, Kooper, take over. What happened with the Mamoswine? Take over.
So right out of the bat, the big play was we had Miguel recognizing Mamoswine is going to be a major problem for his team, and we get a U-turn on the first turn with Zapdos. Mamoswine gets switched in. Gothitelle comes in off the U-turn, and Mamoswine does absolutely nothing, going down to a Scarfed Grass Knot.
And as you can see, Greninja was able to sweep after that, but the big problem with Mamo going down is Zapdos is going to be able to stay around, Landorus is going to be able to stay around. Nothing wanted to take an Earthquake on the team at all. Well, actually, with the things I want to take that could take Earthquakes, can't take Ice Shards, so getting rid of that was really nice, and Miguel was able to play around until Greninja could just clean up Adam's team. So that was a really big blow, and that's kind of something that, you know, turn 2, turn 3, whenever it happened, you really, like, it's a big, like, shot to your confidence. You feel like you're behind that early in the match. That was, like, your win condition, your big thing. That's the number one thing you didn't want to happen, and I can imagine that's when you start, you start making bad plays, you fall behind, and things just aren't going your way.
Yeah, we had a Torment Tran coming from the Mighty Ducklets as well. Flamethrower instead of Lava Plume, but that didn't really matter because he got the burn on a 10% Flamethrower anyway, as Machamo was no guard instead of Guts. But not enough to deter the Real Morel from the victory.
It was one of those things, you know, I go in, Adam hasn't posted his side. Miguel posted his side, 40 minutes long though, and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch all of these so I can do the recap. Okay, Miguel, time to look at your shiny face, color-corrected face. I'm looking. 2 favorite Pokemon are down in, like, turn 4. Okay, this is depressing. That's not what I wanted to see happen. And that's how that match went, but Miguel, big win. One of the top teams, possibly the top seed after that win, especially after beating Adam. Definitely look forward to see what both of them are going to do next week. Time to move on to the next battle, which is the Cleveland Slowbros against Newcastle United. Demo against Sam. And that was a huge victory for the Bros. Go Bros. 4-0 victory.
Bros indeed.
Wow, this is a surprise. You know, Demo was probably, collectively, a lot of us thought that he would be one of the weaker teams, and on the contrary, he has proved us all wrong, or definitely, at least me, wrong. He is 2-0. Incredible plays. There's been so many good predictions in both games. Thunderous with 4-0. That is just crazy. Look at this.
4-0 for Greninja, 4-0 for Thunderous. Big sweeps going on this week, albeit assisted.
A lot of special mons just tearing through teams. And Sam, with the really strong team, really good defensive core, just getting brought down. I mean, a big part of that might have been he didn't bring Sylveon, so I'm not saying that's why he lost, but that might be why Thundurus was able to get through that, that Dragon, Fairy, Steel core, but still craziness.
We had a lot of toxic-based offense coming from Newcastle United, but did not, I guess, expect the Slowbros to bring one of their walls and Florges to have some aromatherapy to get around that.
Yeah, that was definitely a mistake on Sam's part. I would think because, getting the Toxic was great, but, the fact that he not only had, Florges, but also had Mew, so then he would have the ability to synchronize, and the Mega Scizor. I don't know, Toxic on 3 mons just kind of seemed like it wouldn't work. Demo was able to capitalize and really get some pressure on with the Thundurus. I think some good predictions really helped him get there. And I just like what I see from the bros, but I definitely expect Sam to turn this around. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week after, but you will see some wins from Newcastle United. Great team, even better coach, and, I'm very excited to see what he can do. So I think things will turn around, but right now I am excited about the bros. Did not expect that, but they are the real deal. I can say that week 2, I think they are a contender. I expect to see them in the playoffs. So,
Got that mascot pick too.
Ooh, I know the mascot pick that's actually doing well. This match, it didn't get any kills, but the first
the
match,
bros having both teams mascots actually.
Wow, that's what did it. That's what did it. Both neither of them got a kill either. It's something. Yeah, it means something. It means something. I don't know what, but it something was meant there.
There's no kills for me to double. Oh, well.
On to the next match, which was another great battle. This was actually probably my favorite battle watching it of the week. And this was Crystal Palace against the Denver Bronzongs. Both 0-1 teams, but Roger Baby Roge improving his record to 1-1 with a 2-0 victory over John Origins in the Crystal Palace. But this was a great match from both players. I think both sides played incredibly. Oh boy, Kooper, you're taking over again, big guy.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we had almost the Crystal Palace bringing it back at the end with a trick room set up by, I believe it was Cresselia, and then Cofagrigus with Nasty Plot coming in. I guess we also have Ferrothorn to take advantage of Trick Room, but ultimately ran out of Trick Room and just fell short.
It was definitely a good effort, and it was really scary. There was almost a point where I was like, whoa, maybe Kofag will be able to take on the Bronzongs, but Victini, those huge V-creates, just destroyed everything. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I know Trick Room ran out, and he wasn't able to get the sweep, but it was still a pretty good effort, and I don't know, I really enjoyed both of the plays on both sides. They both have, well, okay, so Roger has more of an interesting team. John has some lower tier things, some interesting things that he likes to bring. Baby Rose still proving that Garchomp doesn't really do much, and Chris still hates him for picking it, but he got the win, so I guess you can't hate him too much.
Oh, well. Yeah, we got a Crystal Palace with a couple of Pelipper's favorites right there.
Ooh, this is very true. Talonflame and Azumarill. Talonflame, it's one of those things that it's always going to make your opponent prepare for, and that's why I love it. Azumarill, always solid. Kind of funny because the opposite of what would have happened in my season, Talonflame getting the kill, Azumarill not doing much, but, yeah. I guess.
I think Raj expected the Mega Aerodactyl to take on the Talonflame Brave Birds a little bit better than it actually did.
I do remember that now. I think it was a banded Talonflame, and that was why. And I think that was actually the best pick for his team. And one thing I've noticed in both seasons, I think Victini went pretty late in the GBA draft, which was surprising.
It did, yeah, 4th round.
It's a great poke. It's been doing some work for, Steve's team, and now Baby Roge is finding a great way. First week, I think it was specially made some great predictions, and this week he's like, banded, everything's gonna die, get over it, and I love it.
Yeah, that was the Sub Willow the last week, going for a more offensive build this week. And we got both teams from the UK at 0-2.
This is very true, and next week both of them play each other, so stay tuned for that UK matchup. We actually have Theme Week next week. You have the Baby match, UK match, the Spaniard match, and the Dark Horse match. But speaking of another baby team, it is time to go on to the San Francisco Arcaniders team, my personal favorite, going against Frank and the FC Volcarona, and that was another huge victory for the Arcaniners. Damn. I really don't even know what to say. I mean, I entered the GBA last season, and, I'd heard a few 6-0s from the last season, and there only was, I think 1 6-0 this season, and George has no 6-0s, but he has 2 5-0s in the first 2 weeks. That's
How about Mega
nuts.
Gardevoir getting the only team on the Arcaniners to not get a kill last week, coming in with 2 kills this week?
That was pretty impressive. Last week, he almost was able to pull off the 6-0 with 1 kill with every poke. This time, very close.
Almost did it again.
He almost did it again. How is he doing this? And Mega Gardevoir just says, nope, I got gypped. I got critted. I want my kills.
Gotta get my average back up.
Yep, screw you, Gliscor. It is my time to shine. But while it seems like it was a really bad game for Frank, he was 1 Ice Punch away from possibly winning the match, as crazy as that sounds. So one thing I think we really learned from this match, and George actually started the battle off, forgot to put the Zoroark in a position where it would be disguised, and went for Stealth Rocks with a misclick, so he got knocked off. We had his Toxic Orb knocked off, and he did not have Poison Heal the entire match. The kid's a fool, still was able to predict his way, and I mean, some of the plays it was just great. And I mean, Frank, one thing he's definitely going to have to work on in the future is making sure he puts the moves he needs to, because Toxicroak with Ice Punch just wins.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Frank has a chance to bounce back next week too. You know, it's kind of hard to say much on a battle like this. I mean, 5-0. I mean, I could just, you know, compliment George all day, and I could rag on Frank all day, but I don't want to do either. I want to be a neutral commentator. It's just, you know, Kooper, be neutral, say things. You're nice.
That's true. I am the nice guy of the GBA. We got the LC Volcarona versus the Real Marill next week, so we got 2-0 versus 0-2.
Well, one thing I can say
interesting.
is we are working on that Frank GBA calendar, if you guys are still interested in that. And Frank is trying to defend why he is the sexiest Spaniard in the GBA, going up against Miguel, the color-corrected vampire man from Spain. So that's gonna be interesting. But one thing that we did add this week is a few things. We added conference breakdown. Honestly, I don't know which one we're going in order. I'm just clicking buttons and it goes to the next picture. And this one is really beautiful. We also have MVP race. We also have next week preview. So Kooper, we're going to go over the conferences, you know, who's in first, who's in last, and how we think everything's shaping up. We're going to go over the MVP race and then our predictions for next week. So be prepared to say some things that are awesome.
Indeed, we got Hoenn and Sinnoh, so instead of Kanto and Johto from the main league. And right now it looks like we have the Hoenn Conference is standing out a little bit more, but it's still really early.
They definitely are. I think it could be, you know, easy to say, well, Sinnoh Conference, the only reason Demo's in first is because the bottom teams are kind of weak, but Demo actually beat both of the bottom teams, so he's the reason he's in first. You know, obviously he has to get the 2 wins, but he's pushing 2 teams in his conference down, and he's bringing himself up, and I think that's a really big thing.
Yeah, we have this week 3 matchup is going to be Demo versus the Mighty Ducklets.
That's
so
actually going to be a huge battle, because if Demo's able to go to 3-0, it's going to be really hard for some of the people in his conference to catch him if they get a loss. But if Adam wins, he just propels himself right back in it. I think he would actually be at first. Well, actually, depending on differential, I don't know. He could be in first, and regardless, he'll propel himself back in. So that is big. But for all of the 0-2 teams, they need a win, especially in Hoenn. If Frank gets a loss against an inter-conference team, that could be the end of his playoff hopes.
Yeah, because there's only, 8 games?
Only 8 games. It seems really early to be talking about it, but week 3, if you go 0-3, you let the Real Marill go to 3-0. Possibly, if George goes 3-0, Miguel goes 3-0, it might just be over.
Yeah, because we're taking, the top 2 from each conference for the playoffs?
Yes, we are.
It's like Season 1 of the main league?
Yep. It's one thing, it's kind of interesting to note that both Roger and Adam are 1-1-1, so any of them could, propel themselves into the positive side or propel themselves further into the negative side, and I actually think both of them have a good chance to go up. Roger, we've only seen him get better in both performances, and Adam was the #1 seed going into this based on his performance and his draft. He got not really an embarrassing loss, but that first play gotta hurt, so I think we're going to see him come back really strong. I really think we're going to see both of them come up. But another thing to note, I don't think the Arcaniners or the Real Marill are going anywhere until they battle each other. I think they will be undefeated until they battle.
I'm going to agree, although I'm not sure when they battle each other.
They're in the conference, so it's got to be soon.
Yep. I don't know if it's week 4, week 5.
I think it would have to be week 4 because they battled twice. But maybe, I don't know, yeah, because The Baby Bowl is happening next week, so I think George plays Miguel, and the week after that is a
that
battle
is
to watch
actually
out.
week 4.
That is
Royal
going to be a
versus Arcaniners.
huge battle. Prepare for that. I don't know if it'll be. I don't know how we do game of the week, but regardless, be ready. Probably watch Miguel's side for the live reactions, but you know, go check out George regardless. But I think that's enough. There's not much else to say. It's week 2. There's only so much to say. We can't really say much about playoffs. So let's go on to my favorite, the MVP race. Kind of easy. We have a clear front runner.
Indeed. Liking what I'm seeing.
Greninja. Now, there actually been murmurings in the GBA that when Greninja gets gunk shot, it needs to be put up to a vote for a possible ban in the GBA. And Miguel is definitely making a strong case for the averaging, what? Is that 3.5 kills a game with Greninja?
Yeah.
That's pretty terrifying without gunk shots. So, that's terrifying, but Demo, another 2-0 team, is coming in second with the Thunderous 6-1. That in, you know, almost any other season should be like the #1 oak. That's crazy. 2 weeks,
Yeah.
6-1, averaging 3 kills per game.
Yeah, we got those top 2 both with 4-0 performances this week, so that's definitely a big reason why they were there.
Definitely propelled them to the top. Victini, another thing that is up there. 2 of Steve's Pokemon at the top. In the top 3, I expect to see those Sawsbucks doing a little better next season with those 2 front runners.
Indeed.
And after that, actually, something that's kind of funny, the Arcaniners have none in the top 5 because every game, everything gets 1 kill, 2 at most.
It's a big team effort. I like it.
It's ridiculous. He must have, like, what, 4, 5, 6 things with 2 kills each?
Yeah.
That is crazy. So we have that. We also have Crystal Palace. No wins, but 2 in the top 5 for kills.
Yeah, what, Kafagrigas and Raikou?
Yeah, so I think it's just about time before those 2 win. And Sam what? Actually, I think he has 3 kills on the season, but 2 of them coming with Rotom H and is in the top 10. That's kind of cool. I like to see that.
And to clarify here, the MVP race, at least this early, we're going by kills predominantly. Because we do have Kafagrigas over the +2 guys.
Yes, I think we are going by kills predominantly. I mean, plus minus is great, but when it comes to MVP, I don't know, it's Pokemon. Getting a kill is definitely more important than dying, at least in my opinion.
It's very offensive MVP.
Kooper is very, very hopeful that he can come up with some defensive stats in the future.
Yeah, that won't involve tracking the total HP taken of every Pokemon and every team.
Cooper, oh boy, you silly guy.
That might still happen.
Yeah,
might still happen.
Just let's see, Cooper. Just don't no one ask him to do it. He'll do it. But the last thing, Cooper, it's time to put our predictions. Let's see which one of us by next week will be correct. So, Real Marill, FC Volcarona. Who do you have winning this one?
Oh, I gotta go with my #1 team, the Real Marill. They had Zapdos, baby.
That is. That's probably a good pick. I really, really want to.
Although we do have the FC Volcarona asking for Shed Shell on Twitter.
We do. That
playing
is
some
very
mind
true.
games.
Really getting into his opponent. And I want to see Frank so badly. I want to say the sexy calendar man, but I have to go Miguel. Frank is missing things. He's forgetting things. He's making some misplays. And Miguel is 100% on top of his game. I don't see Miguel losing this week to Frank. So I'm going to have to go Miguel too.
Yep, and then the follow-up game for Frank is going to be against the Bros, so no reprieve there.
No, it's a hard schedule for that guy. Next game, Denver Bronzongs against the Arcaniners, the Baby Bull. I gotta go George. George.
I'm going to have to agree with you. They're just running a Flare Blitz train through the opposition right now.
I mean, when you...
Plus 10? What?
5-0 twice? Oh, just... Bleh. That's gross. Next battle, though. Newcastle United against Crystal Palace.
Somebody's got to get a win.
Somebody does have to get a win. I like that because
I hope they don't 6-6 timeout.
That would... God damn it, Cooper. I'm actually gonna have to give it to Sam. Now, I think John's been playing much better than Sam, but I think Sam is going to say, enough is enough. I'm not getting blown out of the water. Time for me to put my foot in the ground and get a win.
Let's see. Kind of neutral as well. You know, just to be a contrarian, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace on this one.
Good. I was really
Just
hopeful you do that. You know what? Now we can actually have a winner rather than just being, Hey, let's pick the top seed for every match.
I have no large arguments for that. Just being a contrarian.
Very true. Now, the last match we are not going to comment on. It just happened. We do know the scores, so anything we said would have been bullshit. So we're going to just pretend it's not there. They're both going to 6-6 tie. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the end of the week. The weekly recap, the week 2 weekly recap. It's a little late. I am sorry about that, guys, but I hope you still did enjoy. Thank you, Kooper, for doing all of the stat stuff and coming on here and filling in for Steve. It is always a pleasure to do these with you.
Yeah. Are we going to have power rankings this week or a separate video?
They will be on Saturday. I'm pretty sure this is going up late tonight, and power rankings will be up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's about it. Thank you once again, Kooper, and I'm going to say goodbye.
Later days.